Although it's now the British Aerospace Harrier, it was the brainchild of Sir Sidney Cam, who designed the Hurricane. This, though, is the Navy's version, the Sea Harrier, and Lieutenant Alistair McLaren built up much of his display using the simulator.
The simulator itself is an identical replica cockpit of the real aircraft on hydraulic supports, which provide some degree of movement.
Quite light, principally like a strange fibre. And pins 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
All equipment is as it is in the real aircraft, including the straps, and you actually strap in the seat, and this provides you with G-force simulation. And now you see the simulator raising off its hydraulic jacks into its flight position so that it can start throwing the capsule around and simulating all the movement for the pilot. Instructors on the console clearly monitoring the sortie as it goes ahead, and can inject emergencies or indeed give constructive advice as applicable. And for the takeoff. Here you see the simulator tipping around and giving the sort of sensations you'd experience in the aircraft itself. Inside, once you've closed the canopy, it blocks out all the outside visual cues, and all that you see in front of you is a head-up display and the computer-generated TV displays outside the cockpit, giving you your peripheral vision. Up now, inverted, pulling down towards the runway underneath the aircraft. Rolling wings level, and rolling out at about 200 feet and about 300 knots. Sharp turn to left away from the crown line to around 40 to 50 degrees, and now rotating the nozzles even further forward ahead of vertically underneath the aircraft, so actually accentuate the deceleration of the aircraft above the runway. And this is the sort of normal approach you'd see alongside a ship at sea, demonstrating the incredible versatility of the aircraft coming to a complete halt alongside the ship. But obviously we have our gear down for real. Here in the hover, doing a pedal turn around the airfield, trying as best as I can to keep the aircraft attitude steady. The aileron and elevator and rudder controls now lost their aerodynamic power. Those controls have been taken over by little puffer jets on the extremities of the aircraft, which allows to manoeuvre the aircraft in the hover, and the gear going down. Again showing the versatility of the aircraft by side-slipping over to the left at about 30 knots. Halting the aircraft in front of the crowd and turning round to do something that only helicopters can do and other aircraft on the ground, which is to fly backwards. You must be very careful not to go too fast backwards, because as you progressively increase the speed, the ailerons and elevators take over and work in the opposite direction, so you haven't got to exceed the puffer power that you have at your disposal. And now turning away from the crowd for a famed steep climb out that was first demonstrated by John Farley in the early 1960s. From the hover then, rotating the aircraft up into the vertical, putting on full power and actually accelerating, going vertically upwards. And I climbed the aircraft to around 1,500 to 2,000 feet and reduce the power over the top so as not to surge the engine, and turn around into wind and preparing for the inverted fly past. Here coming back towards the airfield for the inverted pass. As I said before, unfortunately the simulator can't put negative G on the aircraft, but it has a good attempt anyway, and it does feel rather odd when you go along the runway going upside down. Looking very carefully for the vertical speed indicator to ensure that I'm level and not descending down towards the ground. Rolling wings level. Here the engine's working very hard indeed. We're not only going forward but backed as well. So we're using a full power and the rest of the water injection to keep the engine temperature down. And approaching crowd centre line. Again for another very famous Harrier manoeuvre, which is the braking stop bow. Coming to a halt just in front of the crowd, in front of the VIP tent, moving back a little bit so I can accentuate the bow, and then holding it at about 40 degrees nose down for a couple of seconds.
And as the Harrier takes its final bow, here's the opposition. an aircraft it was at war with in the South Atlantic, the French-built Super Étendard. It was this aircraft, of course, which carried